Lately, YouTube has been recommending a ton of custom rat rod projects, and this has been making me want to build one of my very own. But after doing some research, I realized that making a car like this is way more expensive and time consuming than I could have ever imagined. So I had to scale down my expectations and build one that's a quarter of the size and a fraction of the cost. To do this, I'm going to be using this old rusty wheelbarrow to build my very own mini rat rod. And to power it, I went to Harbor Freight and picked up this 670 V-twin engine that makes 20 horsepower. Even though this project's small, I still think it's going to take a ton of time. So let's pull out some tools and figure out how we're gonna make this thing. Now, since this wheelbarrow is what we're gonna be basing the whole project around, I'm gonna take the tub off the frame and then take the engine out of its box and lay it all on the ground so that we can figure out what this car's gonna look like.
We have been wanting one of these for a long time.
It was actually extremely hard to get our hands on this thing, dude.
Yeah, it was ridiculously hard. We had to go to like 4 different Harbor Freights. And believe it or not, this is the last one within like a 200-mile radius of where we live. They probably restocked them, but it seems like these are popular.
What are they even used for? What would you use such an engine for?
I don't know.
It's really well packaged.
Yeah, I don't know. It's big.
Oh my! That's at least double the size of a 212.
This is not your average 212.
How are we even gonna fit this thing on our vehicle? That's like a real car engine.
I don't know how we're gonna get it out of the box. It weighs like 100 pounds.
Oh, goodness. Oh. What the heck? Ow, that is heavy.
My back.
Oh, ow. Now that we have the engine out of its box, let's see what this thing's gonna look like. Traditionally, a rat rod would have its engine in the front, but rat rods are kind of unconventional, and that's what makes them cool. So I think we're gonna have the engine in the back. We'll have the wheelbarrow up here. You'll sit in it, and the front of the wheelbarrow will be your backrest. Hey.
That looks really comfy.
It is. And then we just gotta kind of come up with some front end to box this in. You'll have steering, all the controls will be on the steering. You'll sit crisscross applesauce. And then we'll have a tire up here, tire back here. Engine will sit kind of behind the axle so that we can do wheelies, hopefully. We've never built something that can do wheelies. Let me get tires. I kind of want to show you what I think it's gonna look like.
Yeah, I want a better visual. I really think that wheelies are possible here.
Bigger tires in the back.
For sure.
Smaller tires in the front. And I want it to be as stubby as possible. Oh.
Dude, that looks really cool, actually.
That looks wicked. Obviously, they'll not look like this, but what's that look like?
That looks epic.
It feels really cool. You're like down low, the tires are kind of right next to you. This thing's gonna do wheelies for sure. Now that we know how it's gonna kind of look, I think we build a frame to connect all of this together. To build this frame, we're gonna be using this 1-inch tube, and our frame's gonna look something like this. We've got these bends here so that our wheels don't hit the frame when you turn. And even though it looks simple, I think it's gonna be super strong, which is great because it won't bend when we come down from doing some super mega wheelies. Okay, our bends are done and we've got the base of our frame. Now we've just got to get some metal to tie both of these two pieces together. So we're going to use this one up at the front and it will sit somewhere around there. And then we'll take a smaller piece, notch it, put it in the back, and then we can weld everything together. frame's done, and if you look at this picture and you look at the frame, I think we did a pretty good job at replicating it.
It's perfect.
It looks pretty good. It's all tacked up, ready to go, and now it's time to add the most important part and the whole idea around this project, which is this wheelbarrow. Now, we could bolt it to that frame, but it's gonna kind of hurt the structural integrity of it. So my plan is to weld it to the frame, and this will add a little bit more steel to keep everything together. But the problem is, this thing is super rusty, so first we've got to clean it off.
This is going to be a very dirty job.
That actually cleaned up a lot better than I was thinking. Now we just got to take the wheelbarrow and we're going to set it down on our brand new frame, get it where we want it to be, tack it up, flip it upside down, and weld the whole thing. Now that we got our wheelbarrow welded to our custom frame, we're gonna make an engine mount. And we've got this scrap piece of metal laying around that's gonna work perfectly. I'm just gonna take it here, set down on the frame, trace the bottom, and then we'll cut that shape out, flip this thing over, weld it up, and that will make a super solid mount. Now that this is all welded up, it's actually starting to take shape and look like something. It's pretty cool. We started with a wheelbarrow and some pieces of metal, and now it doesn't look like a car yet, but
It's getting there.
it's getting there. It's turning into something. Now we get to work on the fun part, which is making this wheelbarrow look like an old retro car. To do that, we bought another wheelbarrow, and the plan is to take this one, cut it down, flip it over, and weld it onto this one to make it look like a cockpit. So my idea is to just take this part of the wheelbarrow, set it there like a windshield, and that actually does kind of look like a windshield.
Yeah, that looks good.
But it's the wrong shape. You can see we've got some space here and some space over here. So what I'm gonna do is cut a slit on both sides, pull this metal out. We'll probably have to add a little bit of metal, and then we'll just shape it to the shape of the back end of this wheelbarrow, and then weld it all together, and I think that's gonna look pretty good. Got the second half of our wheelbarrow welded on, and it's starting to look like a car. These welds were really hard because this metal is just super thin, old, rusty, and it just was a process. But it's on, and it's looking pretty good. Now I want to give it a personality. So we ordered these lights on Amazon, and when they showed up, I didn't realize this on the listing, they kind of look like eyes.
Dude, they look so much like eyes.
They're like little googly eyes. So this might start looking kind of weird. It definitely is gonna give it a personality though. Should we mount them like this?
Dude, those make it look like a frog.
This kind of looks like a face.
Yeah.
That is super silly. Kind of anywhere you put them, it looks like a weird creature.
Yeah.
But it's gonna provide light, and I think they'll work out pretty good. So let's come up with some brackets and figure out how to mount them. After rummaging around in the box a little bit, I found these, I guess they're mounts. It's supposed to mount to a motorcycle, so what I'm gonna do is just cut this section off, and then we can lay that on the wheelbarrow, and it should hold the lights pretty nicely. After getting these Amazon headlights on here, I actually kind of like them. I was a little skeptical at first, but his face is growing on me, dude.
I like his personality. It looks good.
It definitely looks like a frog, but in a good way. The one thing I realized is I haven't even tried to fit in the bucket yet, so I'm gonna make sure that I can do that with this extra piece added on here. How's it look? Does it still look like a face?
Looks comfortable, and yes, it looks like you're sitting in a frog.
If Bum made a Miata, this is exactly what it would look like. But now we've got to work on our steering. So let's rummage through the parts bin and see what we can't come up with. Aha! I knew we had a steering rack back here.
Oh, that was really deep back there.
This is gonna work perfectly. It's just a Go Power Sports rack off of an old go-kart we built a while ago. I think this is off the trumpet cart.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think that's where this is from, but this is gonna work perfectly, so let's take this and figure out how we're gonna get it on our go-kart. The way we're gonna mount this rack to our go-kart is we're just gonna find some metal mounts, weld them to here, it will bolt to this bar right there, tie rods will come out to the wheels, and then we'll take this rod, which is your steering rod, and drill a hole right in the firewall, send it through straight to a steering wheel, and that should be good. Our steering box is connected and I really like the way it looks, but now we've got to make a rod that goes from the steering box to our steering wheel. And to do that, we're going to take a couple pointers off of other rat rod projects and use a tool. We do this anyway, but I think it's going to look really cool. We're going to take this rod, it's going to go to this rod that connects to the steering box, just lengthen it up a bit. This is going to go here, weld to the wheelbarrow, it will hold everything nice and tight, and then we'll figure out a way to mount a steering wheel onto this. Now that we have this steering rod lengthened up and next to the driver, we have to add a steering wheel. And for that, I'm thinking we'll use this old mini Jeep steering wheel that we built. I really like the look and it fits the rat rod style that I'm going for. So now we've just got to figure out a way to mount it. We got the steering wheel on and I am stoked with how this thing looks. Check this thing out. The one thing I realized that we haven't tried is to fit Taylor in here. I've tried to fit, and I fit okay.
I think I can definitely fit. I've sat in a wheelbarrow before.
All right, let's check it out.
Plus the drift cart, our wheelbarrow one, I fit fine.
But that's reverse way. This might be a little more scrunched.
No, this is good.
How's it feel? Try to turn the wheel.
Is it working?
Let's see. Oh yeah. How far do you have to turn the wheel? Lock to lock? Well, that's passed, so.
That's passed.
Yeah, so that's
feel
gonna
like
be
it's-
pretty good.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's pretty good. I like the laid back. It's nice.
All right, this mini rat rod project is starting to really look like something, but it's still got a long way before it can hit the road. And thankfully, a ginormous pallet with a whole bunch of boxes just showed up from Go Power Sports. So let's open these things up and see what we've got. Before I open this box, I just want to say that I actually have no idea what's in it because Taylor placed the order. So I am completely in the dark here. Taylor is sick today, so I gotta open all of the nice new parts and figure out what they are and what we're gonna do with them. If I had to guess, I'd say these are our rims, but let's check them out, see what we got. Oh, that is the widest rim I have ever seen for a go-kart. That is gonna look insane. I wonder if they're both that wide, the front and the rear. Okay, these ones are a little smaller, a little less wide. Still extremely girthy. That is gonna look criminally good. Holy cow. So basically, the body's gonna be low. These are gonna be right about at that height, maybe a little higher. That's gonna look sick. All right, now I'm on a mission to find those tires because I wanna see what kind of tires are even gonna fit that. That is huge. Dude, these are sick. That was actually extremely hard. If anyone in the comments mounts go-kart tires and knows a better way to do this, that would be greatly appreciated. But they're all mounted. Now we just gotta get some air on them, air in them, and figure out how to mount this axle. Whew. This is gonna be a doozy. Oh! It scares me every single time. Oh no! Stop it out, stop it out. All right, we've got all of our tires mounted and now it's time to finally get this thing on some wheels. The first thing I'm gonna do is work on our rear axle. And for this rear axle, we decided to go with something a little different. I'm interested how it's gonna work. It's from Go Power Sports. Looks super strong, looks very nice. So let's get this assembled and get it welded onto our car. Now I want this thing to be able to do wheelies, and how I'm gonna make that happen is I'm gonna take this axle and weld it as far forward as I can, up next to the driver, and the engine will be behind the axle, kind of like a side-by-side. And I'm hoping that when you hit the throttle, you'll be able to do massive wheelies. But I guess we're not gonna really find that out until it's all put together, so let's weld it up. We have the rear axle situated and welded in, and now I'm gonna weld in these front spindles. And when I weld them in, I'm gonna add a little bit of caster so that when you turn, it lifts one of the wheels and makes this little stubby machine a little easier to turn, because I think it might be a little hard to maneuver. So to do that, I'm gonna take the little measuring device on my phone, situate them, make sure they're straight up and down, and then just put some degree backwards into it. And I think that will do. She's all tightened up and ready to go. I want to see if you can fit in it.
Oh man, that's a strange vehicle. Okay, it actually looks pretty good.
I like it. I think it looks nice.
Is it comfortable?
I mean, no, but it's like doable.
I'm actually digging the style of this. It definitely looks a little different than I was expecting it to, but in a good way. I really like the face, and it truly looks like a monster truck.
It's a frog.
I don't know if it's because you're so small or if the wheels are so big. It just looks like disproportionate in an amazing fashion. This is a bum craft for sure. If I stand back here, let's see. If I'm standing on the frame like the engine. Oh guys, I'm gonna set the camera down and I'm gonna bounce on it. This thing's gonna do wheelies for sure. I'm gonna act like a 670, ready? Oh, that's it! Last night, Katie stopped by the shop and we were able to get all 4 tires on this thing, and it is looking very cool. But there's one problem. If you try to roll it right now, the wheels do not want to go where they need to go. So what I'm gonna do is take the tie rods that Go Power Sports sent us, shorten them up a little bit to fit this steering situation, and then mount them up and see if our steering works. Often when I'm working on these projects, I teach myself lessons, and this is a lesson on not designing things with little to no sleep. We've got the tie rods installed, but we've got an issue. Check this out. All right, tie rods are installed. Everything's looking pretty good. Say I want to go left. Uh-oh, the wheels are going right. And I want to go right. Oh no, the wheels are going left. So I've been sitting here contemplating this problem, and this is what I've come up with. Originally, our steering was bolted right here, and it was reversed, so the steering was moving the wrong way. But what I've done is I've unbolted the steering rack, flipped it, and pushed it back, and this fixes a couple of problems. Before, when this was up here, this angle was not very ideal. So pushing it back allows me to rotate it, and it also makes these straight, which I like a lot better. So it wasn't really a big deal anyway. We just gotta make a bar, make a new mounting place for that steering rack, and we should be good to go. That steering is actually really locked in, and redesigning this whole situation really wasn't that hard. I just moved it back, welded that bar in, and it gave me the opportunity to take the steering wheel and push it back towards the firewall a little bit more, out of the way of the driver, because before it was just up next to your chest and it didn't feel right. But this feels locked in. Now let's move on to mounting the engine and see what this thing's actually gonna look like, because I think it's gonna look monstrous. Holy cow.
Honestly, I don't think we could have designed a smaller space for this engine to fit into. I can't believe how big it is, and it is extremely heavy. This thing is gonna do wheelies, no doubt. Now, unfortunately, I have to pull it back off because I made some marker points where the motor mount needs to go. So I'll pull it back off, drill those holes, put it back on, mount everything up. This thing just looks absolutely crazy. Let me show you guys really quick. Before I pull this engine back off, I need a little bit of a break. That's a back breaker right there. But check this out. That is just a behemoth of an engine. It makes him look so scary. This has to be one of my favorite projects. It's so funny. Oh man, I'm gonna have an 80-year-old back here soon. Holy cow, I can't believe how heavy that engine is. What the heck?
the engine is mounted up, and this thing is getting really, really close to being able to rip wheelies down the street. But I want Taylor to be here when it's finished up, and I know he really wants to drive it, so I'm gonna hold off until the next video. We'll finish this thing up, we'll take it out, and by golly, if this thing doesn't do a wheelie, I'm gonna freak out. That's it for this video. We'll see you next time. Have a great one. Bye.